Do I leave a gift to my church or synagogue in my estate plan? My name is 𝙃𝙀𝙍𝙀𝙀. I'm an estate planning and business law attorney with offices in Edina, Minnesota and New York City. And today we're going to look at a very common question that comes up from my clients, and that is, how can I leave money for a religious institution? So the question of leaving money to your church or your synagogue is one that comes up pretty commonly in consultations. So I'll be meeting with a client and we're working through the plan. We know we want to leave it to family members, but then someone will usually say, you know what, we should leave a donation to our church or synagogue. We want to make sure that we're leaving a lasting legacy with our religious community. And this is very important, and it's an aspect of estate planning that a lot of people don't always think about at the get-go, but then as we get into the kind of the plans and mapping out where we're going, they realize the importance of being able to leave a legacy with their town or with their local religious organizations. So there's going to be two different ways that we do this in your will or trust. The first way is through what's called a specific gift, a specific bequest, or a specific distribution. The way this is going to look is that I leave X number of dollars to my local church, or I leave X number of dollars to my local synagogue. This is a specific gift that comes off the top of your estate plan, meaning that before anything else is distributed, these specific gifts are paid. So if you have $50,000 in your estate and you're giving $5,000 to your church, and then your two sons are sharing the rest, that $5,000 comes off the top, and your two sons then share the $45,000 that remains. The second way we can do this, which may be more palatable if you have two sons who are expecting to get more of an inheritance, is to put the distribution in what's called the residuary estate. And so that's the estate that's left at the end after all these specific distributions and maybe after certain family members, so that if people have died who are going to inherit, or specific distributions have already been done and there's going to be a lot less left, you can use that residuary benefit to give to your local church or your synagogue. And so that's more like giving on the back end. And this can be important because I've had a lot of clients who have one child, and let's say they don't have any grandkids, and so they say, let's leave it to our child, but if they're gone, then whatever's left can go to the church. And that's a way to really leave a good legacy with the church, and it could actually end up being a lot of money depending upon what your estate looks like. So then now we've kind of looked at the two different ways to do it. The next step that I'm going to recommend to you is talk to your church, talk to your synagogue, whatever religious institution you go to, talk to them about what you'd like to do. What you're probably going to find out is they have somebody who works there who is in charge of just specifically gifts to the church or gifts to the synagogue. And in that case, what they're going to do is they're going to have language for you. They're going to say, in your will, please put the following language. Let's say they have different types of donations they can take, and they have different advocacy. So your church is advocating for certain beliefs, or there's also usually a general fund, or maybe there's a fund to build a new rectory. Whatever the different funds are, by speaking to the church, you can find out what your options are as far as where that money is going to go and how it's going to be spent. You want to make sure that if you don't want them to spend the money on the rectory, but you prefer that they're spending the money on improving the church, that your money is going to the right division of the church or the right division of the institution. If you know that you want to leave a religious gift, but you're not even sure where to do it, another option you can consider is what's called donor-advised funds. And if you work with a donor-advised fund, what they can do is specifically group your donation with others who have similar interest, and they can give to a certain cause. So let's say you have a religious cause that you're very interested in, and you're not sure that your church would support it, but you want to make sure you're leaving a legacy in that world. You can work with a donor-advised fund as another way to make sure that your legacy is left and it's tied to where you want that money to go, again, as opposed to paying for a rectory that you don't think that church should actually be building. So hopefully you can see it's not really too hard to leave money to your church or your synagogue, but you want to make sure you do it right. You want to make sure, especially if you have certain goals for your legacy, that it's going to the right place. So if you have more questions, if you're ready to get started, you can go to my website, 𝙃𝙀𝙍𝙀𝙀. There's a red legal strategy session button on the main page. Click that and you're taken to my calendar. We can set up a 15 or 20-minute phone call. We call it a legal strategy session, where we can talk about where you are in the process, kind of what questions you have, and give you some next steps and some next options for moving forward. If you found this video to be insightful, I'd like it if you hit the like button, or if you want more videos like it, please subscribe. We try to put up new content all the time in the areas of estate planning and business law. I hope to see you soon in our next video.